for so long. Let's give her a moment to rest and take a nap. Yes, this is how Princess Peach sleeps. You might be wondering if you can get to the rocket ship in the background here, and perhaps surprisingly, it has no collision, so you just go right through it, and if you want to try to drop down here, you fall low enough so that the death area kills Peach. These green steps in the background on Super Bell Hill also have no collision. In this game, a lot of back objects that you can't reach are just decorations, so you fall right through them. Some objects do surprisingly have collision. So from your first jump in the level, you are able to float through Super Bell Hill, and you are actually high enough to make it all the way to the goal pole. But you'll only get 8,000 points, not the 10,000 points that you get from reaching the top of the goal pole. But there's something that you can do to reach the top of the goal pole. You'll notice that if you float over here, you're just slightly above these steps at the end of the level. You're just slightly above the ground here, so you can't float straight into this wall to do a wall jump, so you have to carefully position yourself, fall into the wall jump, and you can just barely do a dive into the top of the goal pole. Koopa Troopa Cave has a seriously cool out-of-bounds trick. Normally, what you want to do is you go into this pipe and then you continue through the cave, but you can't get very far without touching the ground doing this. But there's something very funny and unexpected if you go around this wall at the start of the level here. There's normally a death area back here that kills you and stops you going this way, but I've removed the death area so you can go here now and you can see what happens. And I know from editing this game that the final area of the level is actually back here. So if you edit the level and you remove the death areas, then you can actually float over to the very end of the level and reach the top of the flag, which is really cool, even though you can't actually do that. If you actually enter this pipe at the start of the level and go into the cave like you're supposed to, there's an invisible wall that prevents you from coming out of this cave. So I removed these invisible walls so that you can see what happens if you float away from the level. If you start floating away from the cave right here, the level starts to get blurry, objects start disappearing once you're far enough, and then as you float far enough away, everything disappears. If you go back, you can see the objects again, and this is based on how far away you are. So let's float along the perimeter of the cave, and there's normally an invisible ceiling that stops you from getting this high here, but from this camera angle, you can actually see that the cloud platforms are rotating around like this and going behind the wall. Comments of one of my past videos, a lot of people were guessing that this is how the cloud platforms work, and if you know this is how they work, you are this is how they work. There's another funny and very unexpected thing about these clouds here. What happens if you continue straight out of the level from these clouds here? If you just keep floating away to the right, well, the level gets blurry and starts to disappear when you get far enough, just like before, but suddenly, the music changes to this cheery music.